Welcome to Season 2 of the Fit to Love podcast show. Welcome to Fit to Love, Movement Mondays, all about exercise, all about movement, all about you. Enjoy the show. Having a hard time losing weight and can't figure out why? Did you know there are 7 factors that contribute to weight loss resistance? Come on over to fittolove.tv/quiz and find out if one of those factors is sabotaging you. Today's show, dangers of kickboxing and boxing. Now first I have to say I love boxing and I love kickboxing. I love the sport. I love the precision of the moves and of the sport. It's a very serious sport that needs really time and attention and focus. The danger about boxing and kickboxing is when it became group exercise, when we took something that requires a skill level and a precision to actually do it well and to do it right for your body. We took it and we added music to the background, and then we put it in a room full of 30 people who are now trying to do an exercise to a beat that has nothing to do with the precision of the actual action. So the dangers of kickboxing and boxing is that you do it in a group, and I know that sounds really simplified, but over the next couple of weeks I'm going to do a very detailed to-do of how the proper form of how to do boxing moves and kickboxing moves, because I do believe it is great exercise, it's great cardio, it's great for coordination, it's great for proprioception, it's great for learning how to actually even stimulate type 2 muscle fibers, so there's a little bit of muscle building that goes into it. So if you want to learn boxing and kickboxing, stay tuned for the next couple of weeks to do it well and to do it right. If you're in a current class, watch the next few weeks because you're going to want to learn how to do it well. Because the problem is when you end up doing something fast and you're not connected to it through your brain, you don't have as much control. And as we've covered in shows in the past, when there's momentum and speed involved and a lack of brain connection, of neurological connection, there's more ways for you to get injured. There's less use of muscle fibers. There's overuse injury. There is using the same fibers that are already strong enough. So to get the most out of your boxing and kickboxing, because it can be dangerous. It can be very dangerous. In fact, if you're not using gloves or wraps, so if you're in a class, you're probably just doing shadow boxing. Shadow boxing and shadow kickboxing is when you're actually boxing or kicking nothing. It's the air. Well, depending on how hard you're doing that, you could dislocate your shoulder or dislocate your hip. You also learn how to kick poorly, and you learn how to punch poorly because you're actually not striking anything. So I'm a big fan of boxing and of kickboxing with the proper equipment, which would be using wraps on your hands to help protect your skin and to keep your joints. It's sort of like it reminds you to keep all of your joints together and to keep punching from the correct place, which I'll go over in a few weeks. So wraps. Gloves. If you're kickboxing, having a kick pad. If you work with someone individually, a kick pad is a great way to do some kickboxing. If you're working with an individual, you'll be boxing with the mitts. So you would have this and the person would have this, or you would do it with a friend. And again, remember, we're looking at the shoulder joint and the hip joint and the knee joint. There have been people who have actually torn their ACL doing kickboxing because they weren't properly trained on how to perform the kick. So if you have shoulder problems, if you have knee problems, please don't rule out boxing and kickboxing. Come back over the next few weeks and really learn how to do it well because it is really a great exercise.